right, we are back to make a small snippet of roleplay and encounter.
Basically, we felt that the last ending wasn't satisfactory. We want to give you guys a more concrete and actual excitable ending to end on, let's say.
Are you trying to suggest that an old man that is giving up his life pretty much is not bad enough?
It's it's bad, but it's not really as gripping of a cliffhanger as we've got in mind. We have one much better to end on, so let's go for it.
Depressed elderly.
Depressed. We don't want to end on Ben Kenobi.
You know, Kenobi is cool, especially because this is science Kenobi. So it's more interesting than Miss Priest Kenobi or Monk Kenobi, however you want to call it.
General Kenobi. Anyway, yeah,
Okay, so while the rest of the party was visiting an innkeeper that turned out to be a scientist.
Hmm. The
Um,
one we
uh,
were looking for.
yes, and the one you were looking for at that. Elena is heading towards
she's taking
somewhere she
she's taking
doesn't
the she's taking the Hobbit
know
to
yet.
Isengard.
Yes, she's taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Dun, dun, dun,
Of
dun,
course.
dun, dun, dun.
Uh, Kudos to Orlando Bloom for living up to this meme.
Anyway, back to the actual description. She's going somewhere she doesn't know.
Hmm. So, you start sensing around records, find some space traveling services.
We try and find a space Uber.
Yes.
Yes.
And sure enough, you find one specific, let's call it business that is providing space travel for their client. So you enter inside. Let's go somewhere more neutral, I guess,
By this
for
point,
this.
obviously by this point, Elena's changed into her disguise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Just
she's a spy, Elena.
Yes, it's
secret
the
age
spy.
double O Elena, license to cry.
Yeah,
Uh,
that fits.
okay, so
The
let's
joke had
go
to
to
be
a
made.
neutral. Let's go to some neutral background, I guess.
Elena's in the void. The
The void.
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 The
The void.
void.
The void.
Someone
So you.
electronic
Game over.
fart.
Hmm?
Someone
Elena's dead. Game over.
someone electronically farted.
Game over,
You're
yeah.
entering the purgatory now.
Oh no, the
Be
main
prepared.
character's been kidnapped. The campaign's over.
Hell, you mean?
Yeah.
So you're entering the small bit. You can see a Duros that is actually handling the business in there, and he says, "Ah, will miracles never cease? Seems that we have some customers for a change. Welcome. What can I do for you?" Well, about that, Desa says, we are looking for transportation to a specific destination. Great, then you're in luck. That's what we're doing here. Yeah, the Dura says with an awkward smile. Hmm.
Yeah, we read the sign.
Yeah. So, how possible would be for you to uh, make a visit in Hat Space? The Duras uh, is a bit shocked by this, and he says, Hot space, you say? Um, well, depends, I guess. What exactly, where exactly you want to go, and I mean, it's going to cost extra. Do you know where exactly we're supposed to go? Uh, yeah, I do. Oh, great. So the destination? I can give you the coordinates if you like. They are located on Narsada. On Narsada? Uh, yes. About that, I'm not very sure that this trip is going to be beneficial for me and my business. No offense, of course. You seem like
Elena's gonna roll perception. You've given me something to do.
uh, I am well. Look, this says. I'm willing to pay you and pay you well. I'm not expecting you to do anything. You just drive us there and back again. Does that sound good? Oh, well, it's in paper it sounds good, but what if something happens to us there? It's not called the smuggler's moon for nothing.
Does my perception get anything?
Yeah, the guy doesn't want to go.
What a shock.
We can handle ourselves just fine.
Okay, you may be able to handle it. It's fine. Thing is, I'm not very sure that I can do that. You know. And at that, you see this pulling out a credit chip from her bag and giving it to him. He takes it, um, puts it inside his computer, and after a while, he says, "Oh, oh, well, okay then. You said that I'm not getting involved in anything, right?
That's
Correct.
correct. All you have to do is stay in the car and wait for us to return. No issue there.
Yes, I guess no issue there. Okay. Very well then. Uh, uh, when you're ready, you can call me, and we are ready right now. This says. Oh, perfect. Well, give me a few seconds to talk to my family and say goodbyes.
You might want to change before we go as well, Elena says with a teasing laugh.
he, he he's laughing awkwardly at that, and he goes away. After an hour of waiting, he shows up again, and you can see him ready for travel.
He's wearing nothing but brown to
Hmm.
to make sure he conceals any accidents.
Yes, no one will ever know. Um,
The car
and
in
he
the
leads,
car is brown. The car itself is brown. The windshield is brown. The dashboard is brown.
you inside one of his ships. It seems a Corellian freighter. It doesn't seem anything particularly expensive or come on. special, but it will do just fine. It's the Millennium Falcon. No, it's not.
It's the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, it's the Millennium Falcon. Yeah.
Of course.
So you enter the ship, and he says, "Okay, so you can stay here in the cockpit if you like. Otherwise, me and my friend here, and you can see an Astro, uh, come on, an astromech droid taking its position as the co-pilot. Uh, Otherwise, you can relax on the back of the on the back seats, or do whatever. Yeah, Narsada, yes, this will go fine.
Yeah. Don't blame him for thinking that.
So Deza gives a glance to Ellen and says, "You want to stay here, or are you going back?"
I don't think I don't think we should frighten the man any more than we already have. Let's give him some privacy.
Okay. So once you go back, she says, "You said that you don't want to have any dealings with the hats."
Look, I've made my position on this clear already. You're helping me far more than you realise by risking your neck for me. It's only fair I do the same.
Okay, that's fair. Just making sure that you understand we're going literally to Hat Space Central.
It's why I decided to wear your disguise.
Hmm. So, let's get some sleep, I guess, until we get there. We will need it.
Don't I know that I know that all too well.
So, you stay there to relax, and after almost a day of travel, you end up, uh, you finally arrive to Narsada. This is the moon of Nalhata, Nalhuta, I should say. Uh,
Actually, now Shaddar's the actual moon and now Hutter's the planet.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did I say it
He
the
said it
opposite way?
You say
he said it
the
the other
on
way
the
around.
left.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to use my Star Wars nerdism.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Don't
Narsada
worry,
is
don't
the
worry.
moon. Uh,
At least you didn't on a bob like I did.
yeah.
At least you didn't say I'm a
Nar
woman's
Nar
lady.
Shaddaa is the sun that Nalhata, the planet, revolves around. I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
And now Hutter's actually pretty flat if you think about it. It's not round at all. It's always been flat.
Oh my god. It's the flat,
It's the Flat Hut Society.
the flat hatters.
Yep.
If you look carefully, you can find out how to turn a bunch of your teammates into Jedi there.
Yep. Also, if you also look extremely closely, you'll find out that every single hut there is just a 2D image that they photocopied onto the scenery.
Oh no.
Oh, 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 oh. My mouth is not
Oh,
moving properly. Oh.
So,
oh god.
you arrive at Narsada, the smuggler's moon, as it's notoriously known across the galaxy. Um, it is somewhat reminiscent of Coruscant because from one side to the other, it's a huge city. Uh, it doesn't seem as glorious as Coruscant does, though. Whatever glory can be glimpsed in an all-encompassing city. But still, So you arrive there, get to your destination after some more convincing that your driver will require.
If if we absolutely have to, Elena, we may have to use the force persuade on him. But I'm not. Again, that's going to be a last resort.
Yeah,
Well, but then
and
it's for fun. So that's her.
and yeah, you arrive at your destination pretty much. It seems a very how to say it. It seems that you have arrived in one of the upper class uh, districts, and you stop in one of the public landing ports. You are actually getting a somewhat invasive visit from th- the moon's guards and
Hmm.
security. They start asking questions like, what are you doing here? What are you carrying? Uh, if you have any credentials and stuff like that. And after the basic explanations and a few credits in their pocket, they leave you alone.
All,
So you
as we exit, all Elena says to Dexter is, obviously you take the lead on this one. Yeah, I'll be here if you need me. For appearance's sake, I'll just act as if I'm your bodyguard.
she gives you a look, smiling, and says, "Okay,
It's better,
um,
and she just smiles back and she goes, and I just says to her, "It's better than nothing, right?"
it sure is. It sure is. Fair warning: if things get dangerous in there, I won't hesitate to attack the Hat himself."
I pray it doesn't come to that, but my lightsaber is ready should you require me.
Hmm. Let's hope that we won't have to resort to that.
Agreed. I don't want Neo having any more heart attacks on my behalf, she says with a cheeky smile.
Okay, at least you were joking. I thought you were serious.
Half and half, actually.
Oh god.
So you're approaching something that seems like a hub for the people around. It's a huge building. It seems something like the huge buildings that you have seen on Coruscant that house very important individuals or industries and services. And you start entering the compound. It seems that Desan knows where she's.
You cut out. It seems that Dason knows where she's going, right?
Hmm?
You were about to say it seems that Dason knows where she's going, right? Because you cut out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I said.
Obviously, second verse same as the first, although I was just gonna follow her lead the entire time here.
Okay. So once you reach your destination, you can see that you're in front of a huge blast door. There are guards all around this place, and you see her approaching one of them and saying, speaking in Hattis. Can you understand Hattis?
No, I only have basic
Okay,
Atari.
okay. And after a small conversation, the door opens and you enter.
Hmm.
So you start approaching the main hall, let's say. You can see a few guards there making, gesturing to you to stop. And after a while, they're gesturing for you to move forward. So you start moving forward until you reach a a very big room full of extravagant, come on, furnitures, um, extremely pricey chandeliers, and even even the windows that overlook the city outside seem to be extremely uh, pricey. And at the middle of the room, you see a hat. It seems it's huge, as all hats are. It seems to be a little bit sickly, maybe.
Mm.
And he's covering himself with some kind of hat cloak or hat, let's say,
He's wearing a onesie.
yes. You can see that he is much thinner, slimmer, I should say, than the hat you had already met before. He sees you and waves at you to approach.
I stay
So,
one step behind and to the right of Data make to keep the facade of being a bodyguard.
okay. So, you approach the hat. Desa does uh, a bow,
I do likewise.
and she starts talking in Hattis once again. Uh, this is trying to be somewhat of a problem because Elena won't understand what's actually being said.
Base
So I could actually make a summary of the conversation.
that would be best, yes.
Okay. So pretty much it seems that the hat there called Calthro was expecting you, expecting Desa to be more precise, to turn up. And she has some very valuable, some trading deals that the underworld is doing on Coruscant and in other places as well. And in exchange of this information, she asks the location of uh, the
Shadow
shadow
Port.
port called Point Nadir. In that, you see that Calthro is a bit skeptical about it, and you, after a small conversation again with Desa, you can see that it's getting a bit heated, let's say.
Okay.
Uh, what they're saying pretty much is that if someone even knows this name unauthorized, the policy is to kill them. And Desa says that we are not here to fight, we are here to make business. and believe me, I'm going to be very helpful to you, and perhaps give you more influence on Point Nadir itself. At that, Calthro seems to be calming down a bit, and soon enough they come to an understanding.
Hmm.
So they said as a bow again,
I follow suit.
and you can see her backing off from the hat without turning her back until she's pretty much on the verge of the escalated part that uh, the elevated, I should say, part that the hat is sitting.
Okay.
At that point, she turns her back normally, and she continues her way to go outside.
I just follow her. But I, my back is turned the entire time, just keeping an eye on Dasa. But also,
Hmm.
I've got my force attuned to the hut so that I can react in case they do anything.
Hmm. She looks at you and she says, "That went well."
I was a bit concerned when the hut started getting a little heated with you, but I'm glad you managed
Yeah,
to pull that off.
he was he was very irked that I actually knew of the Shadowport. His clan is making a lot of effort to keep it as secret as possible.
She just gives a smile and goes, "They're a hut. They're huts. What do you expect?"
Well, yeah. Also, this one has a pretty good standing in his clan's council, which means he's calling a lot of the shots.
Mm,
He's also quite old, and it starts to show actually. Funny thing about hats.
yeah.
Other than that, I should tell you that I promised him some quite, um, let's say, big help for his trouble. That I have the coordinates we need.
As long, well, as long as you have those coordinates and you're willing to provide that help without too much of a risk yourself, then I think we're good.
Yeah, about that risk you said, and she smiles. Um, we are risking a lot here.
Elena just sighs and goes, "My life has been nothing but risk. I'm used to it by now."
Hmm. When we actually step on Point Nadir, we are going there and try to kill the leadership of my guild.
Elena just sighs and just goes, "I suspected as much back on Coruscant."
Yeah, let's say that the inner circle of the guild is pretty skilled and dangerous. I think it's time for me to tell you that I wasn't entirely truthful with you in the past when I said that I don't actually know a lot about the ruling system of the Sable Dawn.
Elena just gives her a a knowing look, just goes, I figured as much, but it wasn't my place to question you at the time.
You don't say.
So, I was actually been training to become a member of the inner circle.
Hmm.
I know a lot of members of the inner circle that are quite skilled, as I said before. Especially the foreman or the administrator, as he's being called by our members, which means the de facto leader of the guild, is a human.
Hmm.
He's getting old, but that doesn't seem he's any less lethal.
It's always smart not to underestimate anyone, no matter what their age.
Yeah, especially this one.
Elena just looks at Dace and goes, could that make a You mentioned that the man that Joanne and Kesh encountered was one of his top lieutenants, correct?
Yes, he's a member of the Anerkan circle himself.
Anything in particular you know about that guy?
Mm. He was the one that showed me how to shoot with a blaster.
Elena just
Among
in
other things.
Elena just nods, understanding and go. Our pass. It seems that our backgrounds are more similar than we realized.
He wasn't the only teacher, let's say, that I had at dawn.
Of course.
Uh, even the administrator himself had some interest in me.
Hmm.
We can talk about this some other time.
Uh,
Actually, I'm planning to share all of this information and some things more than that with the rest of the crew once we go back.
Agreed. And Elena just looks around. Besides, I don't think Narshadal's the best place for this conversation to begin with.
Oh, you can uh, you can say that again.
The sooner we're out of hut space, the better, Elia just says, and as they continue walking on.
Hmm. So you get back to your space taxi.
Yeah.
Basically,
Uh,
on the way back, Elia also says, I also wasn't completely forthright with you about my issues with the Empire, of course. And then she then goes into detail about everything that happened on Dantooine and their investigation into the Empire's activity with what happened with her master and everything, and the length she's having to go to actually keep herself out of the Empire's eyes just to make sure the crew's safe.
hmm. You can roll a perception check if you want to see how she's
Taking
Taking
it.
it,
reacting to all of this.
yeah. Basically, it's gonna. I'm doing the same with Daisy drip by drip. She's giving me a drip, and now I'm giving her one.
Okay.
I'll use a force point.
Uh,
I'll use a force point on
okay.
that.
Okay.
It's basically a new day now because we've been traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be a new day by when we have to roll again. So yeah.
Just enough.
Well, just to
Just enough.
Just enough. Yeah.
Yes. You see that she's listening to you with extreme interest, and once you finish, she says, "Hmm, that's a lot of stuff and troubles.
Yeah, as I've already mentioned before, you're well aware of, just being a Jedi is enough for the Empire to want to kill me.
Yes. In any case, I want you to know that, and I mean that. And you see her somewhat, you know, emphasizing this. I don't want the Empire getting their hands on you.
Elena just gives her a little smile and goes, nor do I want the Sable Dawn to get their hands on you.
Hmm. Then she smiles and says, "It's better that we get our hands on them first, right?"
Elena smiles back. Agreed. Besides, there may be a way to rescue my mentor from the conundrum he's got himself into. I'm not banking on it, of course, but I'm still holding hope.
You see her um, making a slight scoff at that and says, I don't want to be spoil sport, but I wouldn't count on that."
Elena looks at her and just says, "I'm not counting on it either, but I still have to try. You understand?"
I understand that you're a stubborn one.
She just Elena just laughs and goes, "You already know that's one of my greatest strengths."
Sometimes our greatest strengths can become our greatest weaknesses. I
Elena
know a
just
thing or two about that.
Elena actually calms a little bit and just goes, "As do I.
Hmm.
Don't worry."
Anyway, let's get out of this place before
Yes,
something uh, unforeseen happens.
agreed. But for all we know, the Empire and the Sable Dawn could just drop out of hyperspace with a blink of an eye, and we don't want that, do we?
Well, she looks around. Narsadai is very closely monitored. I don't think they would be stupid enough to do something like that, but you never know.
Elena just
Two
also
seconds
says very.
later,
Elena also says
the
something.
Empire.
Go on.
Sorry.
No, go on. You go on.
No, I was making a joke
Well,
basically.
make the
I said
joke.
two
Make the joke.
seconds.
It's fine.
2 seconds later, the Empire drops out of hyperspace, begin an invasion.
Elena just says to her more reasonably. She says, "That may be true, but you never know what type of scum around here might turn us both in for profit. So,
Yeah, that's just get a good look around you, she says. And if you get a good look around, you get what she means. Uh, you can see literally people begging for death sticks and a lot of other things walking all around, even on the precipice of one of the higher, of the upper class districts that you're on right now.
Elena just sighs and mumbles, but so that only Dayton can hear. Have I not already told you how much I hate hut space?
Yep, you said that before. You hate hot space.
And I'll say it
No
again.
one,
Go on.
and no one is doing anything about it.
She shares a smile with Dayton, That's the end of the conversation until they get back to the crew.
Okay. Uh, you get back to the ship, and you see that your dearest driver saying, "Oh, you're back. Good. Tell me that you are clear to leave this awful place."
Elena just smiles at him and goes, "Ready? We're ready to leave when you are, mate, man."
Perfect. Perfect. Let's go right now. I already had 5 dealers trying to sell things to me. I had 3 threats and 1 shakedown.
Don't worry, I hate being around here almost as much as you do. So let's get going.
And you leave the smuggler's moon. As you're leaving, this says, okay, I think it's a good idea for us to get some sleep again.
I agree.
So, you fall asleep. Doesn't take you long to do that. And you can see in front of you some kind of room.
Okay.
Uh, you can see it's something. You are guessing you are seeing some kind of command bridge,
Okay.
and inside there you can see Keller and a few other people talking.
Okay.
You get a very, uh, let's call it, bad vibe, a knob to your neck when you realize that these people are wearing imperial uniforms.
Yep.
And I want you to roll a perception check to see how exactly, what will you be able to pick up from all of this.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually a good roll.
You don't say it's a good troll.
Where is go my uh notes, please? Yeah, here we are. You can say you can hear them talking about some kind of mission, and Kelleran says we'll scour Odrin from one side to the other if we have to get to it. Max, did you say something?
No, 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 no. Sorry, I was speaking
Okay,
here and I forgot to mute the
okay.
microphone. Sorry.
You can hear Kelleran saying, "I don't care about that. We'll scour Aldrin from one side to the other. If we have to."
Okay.
After that, everything around you gets hazy, and you are in some place. It seems you can see vegetation all around you. It seems like some kind of um, uh, plains,
Mhm.
some kind of a plain. Um, you can see some kind of forest in the back end,
All right.
and you see in front of you the rest of the party almost completely decimated.
No, no.
No, no. Uh, uh, Neo turns to you and says, "What are you doing? Just run. There's nothing you can do anymore.
I'm not leaving you.
There's nothing you can do. Leave. Otherwise, everything we did was for nothing." And you can see him trying to push you uh, and get going, pretty much.
I could no. I could stop this. I can't leave you like this.
We thought we could stop this, and look where this got us, he says. Go now. Otherwise, you will be dead too.
Ele- Elena finally relents, just literally crying, literally not doing nothing but crying, and she just runs.
So, as you're running, you end up in a different place again. And in front of you, you can see a figure that you haven't seen before. It seems some kind of Bacta tank, you're not sure.
Okay,
And inside there is a figure. Will you approach?
cautiously.
Okay. You approach and you see clearly that there's some kind of humanoid inside.
Okay,
The
Uh,
humanoid suddenly dress up in the Darth Vader armor and says, "Your path to the dark side has been completed."
uh, you can make out that the humanoid inside is almost completely devoid of hair,
yeah.
and will you check to see the readings on?
Yes.
Okay, you're checking to see, and you can clearly see that they pick up no life signs. You're wondering why you're there, what you're watching, and as you're doing this, you see the figure inside actually moving. You check again to see if the machinery gives you any readings, but again, it gives nothing.
Okay.
And you can hear in your head a voice almost desperate saying, "You can't escape this. Even death won't be enough." And with that, you will be back to to reality.
Elena just wakes up, not screaming, but her eyes are gas and just she's sweating and panting.
Not long after, you feel a hand reaching out, and you can hear Dessa's voice saying, "Are you okay?
No, no. Elena sounds extremely shaky.
Can you tell me what happened?"
Something extremely bad. I felt it felt as if someone was messing with my mind. It showed me visions of my master sending Imperials everywhere, scouring the galaxy, of you and everyone I care for dead dead at my feet of a figure that is just distorted in a back to tanks, and all I could hear in my head is, "Death is there is no way out. Not even death can save me."
You see her sitting down, saying nothing, and just looking at you. I'm not sure that I have something to say about this. And then she gives you a look and says, "You're trembling."
Alea just looks at her hand, and her left hand is literally trembling. Like, yeah. She just says to Data, "I don't know. I don't think I'm in control of what I'm seeing. It's as if it's being forced onto me."
Could this be related to what you felt before?
I have no doubt. Alea just turns. She's facing Data, but she's got her head in her hands.
She will get her coat and use it as a blanket. She sits next to you and she says, "This is bad." Then gives you a look and says, "Does that mean that you're going to give up?"
She she still looks scared and unsure, but she tries to sound as determined as possible. She goes, "I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can, but I'm gonna try and make damn sure that nothing happens to either you or the crew, no matter what happens."
You see a faint smile on her face and says, "As I said, stubborn."
She goes, and she tries to smile back, and she just says shakily, "It is my biggest weakness after all."
Hmm. It's time to turn your weaknesses to strengths then.
Seems we've both got to do that. She says, trying to trying to give her a smile back.
The only piece of advice I can give you is that if you want something, you have to make it happen yourself.
I nod.
That's all I know. I was pretty scared myself for a long time. I'm not scared anymore.
I smile and I say, "I'll take that to heart." Also, I was alone for a long time on Burger Prime, uh, making do with what I could scrounge to survive, keep my head low, and it was much like Nar Shaddaa in a way, but something seedier going on. I had to keep my head down. I was alone and relying on nobody and trusting nobody but myself for a long time. I'm not, and she just looks at Data. "I'm not alone anymore."
That you're not. Also, one more thing.
Yeah,
I know this might not be the best time for me to say that, but don't have faith in the New Republic or the empires or the Hat cartels or anything like that. They are all going to betray you at the end.
Alea just looks at her and goes, I suspect as much, but to be honest, the fact that I'm more willing to work with the New Republic isn't because I trust them. I just think they're a lesser of three evils that we have. The only people I have faith in are Master Crook, you, and my crew. That's all I need.
The witch doesn't count.
Well, the witch, she's not sure about the witch yet, but she's more willing to trust her.
Okay.
She has the same opinion of the witch as she has with Bo-Katan.
Hmm.
She doesn't fully trust them yet, but she knows that she
I
can
was
rely on them.
joking.
I know,
I was joking.
I know.
Then says one more thing that you should keep in mind.
Yes.
And if you get this under perspective, everything becomes a bit simpler.
Okay.
There are only two kind of people in the world. Prey and predator, nothing else. And this is not work of any organization, of the evil society or anything like that. This is plain and simple natural law. And no matter what we try to do to escape from that or tame nature as we so foolishly think we have with our societies and technological advances and everything else, we're still part of it. Better be a predator than prey.
She nods and goes,
Otherwise, you will never feel safe.
Elena just nods and goes, it's all about survival in the end.
Exactly.
She just gives Data a small smile, the best she can manage, and just says, hold on to that thought. There's something I should give you when we get back to the ship.
I'll be looking forward to it, and I will hope that no more surprises will occur until we get there.
I hope so too. It appears I may need to consult my master on this as soon as we can get back.
Yes, you should do that. See how helpful this can be.
I nod.
And you see her just leaning on her back and says, I'm going to get some sleep, at least try to get some sleep.
You do that. I don't think I'll be getting any tonight.
Figures, she says. And then she stays there for the rest of the journey back to, uh, come on, to Herd's Moon.
Yeah.
So, now you know where the Shadowport is.
Hmm.
You know about uh, the scientists and what they were doing. You know about uh, the abattoir's involvement in specific things.
Mhm.
And something else that you just learned, this Adrin place, what could it be?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot to talk about next session.
Definitely.
Yes.
I will have to rewatch the section, the part of the vision, because I have been a bit subbing out in and out. We
It's.
stopped having it
I'll
here,
clip.
so.
I'll clip it for you. Don't worry.
You don't need to clip it. Just look at that. The video will be online, so
Yeah, and it's towards the end, so it's
Yes,
easy to
yeah,
sorry,
find.
sorry, I won't clip it. I'll just upload it raw. You can find it
yeah.
easy enough.
Yep. So that was the first time that maybe someone else was messing a little bit uh, with someone.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wanted to roleplay this, so it's obvious to Data that this is not Elena acting up. This is someone actively trying to mess with her. And I think that worked.
Things are getting more dangerous.
Yep.
Mhm.
And with that, we can close the stream.
Yep. We can end on. There is one positive thing we can take from this.
There
It's
is.
it does it basically it does seem from what Riss is now saying that Data is at least loyal to Elena, if not the crew.
Yeah. And the crew is loyal to Lena, so technically you could say they are allies.
Yeah.
And again, the crew is willing to help her, even if we know
Basically,
this is dangerous.
even though if even if Data just doesn't really get friendly with the crew, she at least now has the common goal of protecting Elena. So that's that.
Hmm.
Anyway, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you for this
Yep.
watching for this point A episode, and we will see you next time for more Star Wars shenanigans.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you
Later.
next time.
See ya. Bye.